Good afternoon, folks. Today we will take a look at the new Denza N8L, which is visually almost the same as its older sibling, the N9, with just a few minor tweaks to the front and rear design. But under the hood, it's practically an N9, although it costs significantly less. Today we will figure out where they cut costs. So sit back comfortably and let's go. They're asking $46,000 for the maximum configuration. A 2-liter turbo engine with 200 horses, plus there are 3 electric motors with a total of 760 horsepower. The back wheels turn 10 degrees. It has dual air suspension, acceleration in 3.9 seconds, and a 46 kilowatt-hour battery. What do you think? $46,000. 3 rows. Isn't that interesting? What about the back doors? The N9 is $15,000 more expensive. Let's take a closer look at where they saved money. The wheels I can see are 21-inch, which is the maximum you can get, and it's lower as you can see. These wheels are a bit small, in my opinion. It's clear here, right? There's no power deployable side step, and you can't order it. That's another $1,500 right there. And the wheels are another $1,500. So, we've already found $3,000 they saved on. Under the center console, there are charging ports. The first and second rows have massage ventilation and heating. The third row only gets heating. You also have adjustable side bolsters for the driver's seat. The steering wheel adjustment controlled by a button. The seat cushion is not adjustable. It's slightly longer than average. Where I'm pointing with my finger, that's Napa leather. The rest is faux leather. That's where they saved money. There's no speaker in the headrest. The side bolsters are adjustable not only for the driver, but also for the front passenger. Awesome. This seat features a button like this. I understand that we already know all of this. It's zero gravity. All right, let's continue. I'm 180 centimeters tall, sitting upright. 3 fingers in front of my knee. You can sit like this as well, though it's starting to feel a bit tight. All right, let me move to the back from this position. I've adjusted the seat to the most comfortable position. Let's go check out the third row. A fist, just so you understand. Can you imagine? At this price, I can even slide the seat forward. Since I'm here, look, there's plastic here, faux leather here, just like over there. It's smooth and feels nice. Same here. There's fabric, plastic, there's cloth. USB-C is available. There's a pleasant piece of cloth. This is cheaper than Alcantara, but it's better than rough stuff. And there are speakers. Here's some wood, even if it's a small piece. And here it's like wood, but it's plastic. The materials are really nice. They covered the bottom. And they upholstered here. And they covered this part too. Even inside the glove box. There are 2 spots for 50-watt wireless charging, without ventilation, but covered with Alcantara. Here you switch the modes, but these gemstone-style buttons, I'm not a fan. This screen, I just can't with it. If they had tucked it in somehow, it's the same thing we talked about in the N9, so I won't repeat myself. I just don't like floating screens. And even if it sticks out, like in the Neo ET9 or ES8, they could have made it smaller and cleaner. Here it also has this plastic bezel. I don't know, it's just too big. Not my thing. Fridge is here. Overall, the screens are straightforward. The passenger gets one on the right, and the center display is the same as in the N9. The quality is great. All good here. What? Did that not work for me? All right, where's the map? All good. There's English available, and the system is the same as in all BYD models. It's open Android, so you can install any apps you want. No hacks needed for this car. The screen is here. Wow. Yes, either a mirror or a display. Can I change the brightness with a button like in the N9? No, I can't do that. What's great about this display? You just rotate it fully toward yourself and that's it. Once you get a car with a digital rear-view mirror that shows a camera feed, you'll never go back to a regular mirror. You'll use the display all the time because it sees in the dark, it has a wide-angle view. A traditional mirror is last century. At this price, you also get the option to choose different cabin fragrances. The head-up display is very easy to read. All information is there, but you can't open the map on it. The driver even has a little box here, covered in fabric. I have my own little sunroof, the passengers have theirs, and mine also has a sunshade. What else is there? No, that's it. There isn't a glasses case. How's the build quality? It was a bit. Here is good. A bit was here. But gone. Pretty good. This is a good quality synthetic leather, not the finest, but quite acceptable. Everything is completely stitched up, including the bottom, and inside there is a mat, here is plastic, and here is some grandmother's fabric. Devialet music, 20 speakers. I'm constantly being asked to judge the audio system, but I'm not really an expert. My wife is the music lover, and she's with me today. She said it's nothing special. There are better, more expensive setups out there. This one is simply middle of the road. Not bad, just average. Double glazing, and this is some kind of plastic.
你好，单社。
二排左，中午好。
大概2排屏幕。
没问题。后排娱乐屏。
Check out what's going on here. There's even a shade. Hook. 2 tables. There's even a fridge. Or not. There's one in the armrest, we saw it, but here?
你好，单社。
二排左，请说。
大概2排冰箱门。
好呢，冰箱门已为你打。
It's controlled by this button. It's just protected from accidental touches. You have to swipe your finger across it. Overall, there's quite a lot of interesting stuff in the rear row. All of these materials are the high quality. Oh, the screen's a bit smaller than in the N9. Check it out. There's a button right here. I don't have to press it over there. And you can also press here, notice? You can also press it here. 2 options. Open it whichever way is more convenient for you. I think the N9 had zero-gravity seats that could even slide toward the center. This one doesn't have that feature. It costs money. So we found another place where they saved. No issues with the screen quality. These days, all premium Chinese brands have reached a level where everything looks great. Nothing strains your eyes. If the front passenger gets a little too bold, you can move them forward from here. In the N9, you can slide these seats, remove the headrests, and you get a flat lounge combining the second and third rows. Here, you can't do that, unfortunately. Here you can do the same if you fold the front seats, remove the headrests, get a special mattress, and you can comfortably take a nap. The rear wheels steer by 10 degrees and each wheel has an electric motor. One on the right, one on the left, and one in the front, totaling 3 electric motors. This vehicle can pivot in place like a compass. Let's check its turning angle. Will the steering angle be enough? For this size, it's very good. Neither Huawei nor Li Auto gives you rear-wheel steering, and especially in underground parking lots where everything is tight, all the Denza models I've driven felt almost like small sedans. That's the impression you get behind the wheel. In the back, it looks like this. Oh, this compartment is actually quite large. Here, we can slide the seats forward, fold them down, and also raise or lower the suspension. There are hooks. There is 12 volts. Now we're heading out to film the intro. See how sneaky I am? You've already watched it, but in reality, I'm only on my way to shoot it right now to this park. There's even a pretty interesting lake over there. Listen, this is the first time I've ever seen something like this. Just so you understand, it's not under renovation, it's actually the design. It's this kind of metal mesh wrapped around the whole house. Can you imagine? First time I've seen anything like it. Just look at this beauty. And we're literally in the very edge of Shenzhen, the outermost district, right next to the BYD factory. You know what I'm noticing today based on the sales numbers? Building ultra-loaded cars, packed to the max inside and outperforming everyone else at this price, is no longer enough. And Huawei and Xiaomi are the perfect example. They're not as wealthy as Geely or BYD, and they offer slightly less for the same money. Slightly. But their sales? They've crushed everyone. Completely. The Germans, the premium Chinese brands, all of them. Just squeeze them out. Why? Because the brand has to be fashionable. These brands are not well known. Ask any teenager on Earth today what Xiaomi is, and they will know. They also know what Huawei is, but not Denza or Zeekr. How does it drive? It's not softer than the Li Auto L8. In terms of handling, it's about on par with the L8, and again, not softer, just a bit firmer. Not by much, just slightly denser in the way it feels. So when a wheel drops into something, the car feels heavier, especially the rear. I'd say the L8 is softer. They clearly saved a bit on the suspension kinematics here. But in sport mode, I mean Sport Plus, this thing is livelier than the Lixiang. It's a car that genuinely goes. And in the regular modes, just cruising around the city, the L8 feels a bit more airy, more pleasant. But here's the thing. If you hit something big and deep, the L8 can slam pretty hard. It's simply too soft, and that's unpleasant. Here, it won't slam like that. It will take the hit more firmly. But the upside is that in everyday driving, it feels tighter and more composed. They also added stronger regeneration. Nice. In this part, yeah, they really nailed it. Now it's nice. It slows down really well as soon as you lift off the throttle. So in the city, it's actually great to drive. Well done. BYD usually cuts costs on this. Let me show you the sound insulation. It's the same as in the L8, just the standard setup. They all sit around 62, 63 decibel now. I'm sure it'll be the same here. Whenever I take a German car for a test drive, it's quite a struggle. They are all so anxious and fearful, constantly asking me what I'm going to say about the car. Are you going to say something bad? I came to the BYD factory, picked up the car, and no one said a word. The only thing they wrote was, "Don't lie, tell the truth, be honest." And I like that approach, so I'm speaking honestly. I don't like this front end, and that's it. I'm saying it as it is. They need to work on the design. This isn't it. Yes, Chinese buyers love cute, funny, animal-like designs, but this one isn't cute, and it isn't an animal. They missed the mark, in my opinion. They need to make the brand trendy. They need to get this thing out there. They need a well-known person to buy it, drive it, and post it all over their stories on Chinese social media. They need to make that big center screen look nicer inside. Neo managed to do it. Something that looks clean and well integrated, like you're holding a compact iPad. Smaller, easier on the eyes, not as in your face as this one. They don't feel it. Let's compare it to one of the German cars so it's easier to understand. I keep using the L8 as an example, but many people haven't tested it and want a clearer idea of how this one drives. I honestly don't even know what to compare it to, because an X3, even with huge discounts and not in the full trim, just cannot be compared to this car. This is a car where, in the back of an X3, your knees are practically up by your ears. Here, you've got 3 rows of seats. The classes are just completely different. The X3 will be catastrophically poorer inside, and while in this one you press the pedal and it shoots off like a sports car. 1 gear, no vibrations, no delays. Over there, you still get all that. And it's still slow on top of that, so they're just not comparable. It wouldn't be fair to compare them. The X3 is, of course, well, a whole different story. But again, we come back to the same points. It doesn't have the brand name. You might not look as prestigious in it. And the design. When it comes to high speeds, the German car is definitely better. I just drove on the Autobahn. This is better than the Lixiang, but it's still not a German. So, if you're driving mostly on Autobahns or highways, I would definitely consider a German car. The Germans tune their suspension for high-speed stability, while the Chinese brands don't really focus on that. That's why even the X3, which I joke about, will still perform better at high speeds than this car. But again, you can't fit nearly as many people in it as you can here. This is a big family car where everyone sits comfortably, watches the screens, turns on their massages, and just enjoys the ride. Do you know what I really want to praise BYD, Denza, Leopard, and Yangwang for? These brands are all part of the BYD Corporation, a relatively young company. Yet they managed to get the seats absolutely right and very quickly. Everything works for me. The cushion length is spot on, and the seat backs are genuinely comfortable. It feels like they hired people who really know what they're doing right from the start. And now I have a question for the guys at BYD. At this price, you're being forced to deliver an extremely well-equipped car instead of actually making money. Why? Because you're not giving enough attention to design and to the media presence of the brand. That's my opinion. This brand needs to be made fashionable. And to do that, you have to pay bloggers, celebrities, actors, singers. You get the idea. Popular people with a huge fan base. If one of them says they like it, then everyone follows. Just like with Malevich's Black Square. Ah yes, this is beautiful. This is real aesthetics. You get what I mean, right? They're spending their money on stuffing the car with features when they could have taken a completely different route. I'm not trying to appear smarter than them. There are experienced guys there. Maybe they believe this is the right approach, but I have a feeling that until this brand becomes fashionable, until people genuinely love how it looks, it won't take off the way it should. And the badge really needs a change too, at least the color. They're forced to offer an insanely loaded, ultra-equipped car at this price. In Europe, it's absolutely unthinkable to get anything like this for the same money. Unthinkable. Sometimes I feel like I'm dreaming. Seriously. I love cars. I've been studying them for years, and it still feels unreal to me. It's like on the same continent, but on the eastern side, there's a completely different automotive universe. Almost like a different planet altogether, you know? I mean, over there, they sell these plastic carts for $46,000. Just basic carts. But they handle well at high speeds. It's true. So this brand either needs to change something, or things will stay exactly the way they are. Yes, they'll eventually win. They'll take the market through endurance, with BYD behind them, pulling them for as long as needed. A new generation will grow up constantly hearing about Denza, the brand that outperformed everyone technologically. And then it becomes simple. Denza is Denza. Slowly, gradually, the fan base will grow. Sales, status, recognition, all of it will come with time. But that's the long game. They could have taken a different path. I'm not claiming to be objective. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I see it. All right, friends, that's where we'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. See you soon.